Hello, my lovely peaches. Good morning. It is 10:10 wins. It is Tuesday, October 10th, 2023, and it's 9:17 a.m. And yesterday I shared for my Patreon patrons an hour and 37-minute video course about get back your ex or get a healthier mindset. And this is a 10-minute excerpt of that video that I really just wanted to share. So if you enjoy this type of content and this type of teaching and you feel that you could benefit from a much longer version where I go way in depth, deep dive, talk about it, and really cover it. As I said, this is a course in learning to heal. So a lot of people want to get back with their ex. They feel that their ex is this amazing person who is everything wonderful and good in this world, and you just want to love them. But my opinion and my teaching is that that actually makes you not loving and not lovable. In fact, wanting somebody who does not want you, or thinking that you're in love with somebody who's not in love with you, is not love at all. And it is proof that you do not love them. You think you love them. You're convinced you love them. You're obsessed with them. You're fixated on them. But that's not love. I do have a book called Never Fall in Love, Only Rise in Love. You can check that out here. But the very painful reality is that when you are obsessed with wanting to be with somebody who does not want to be with you, you don't actually love them, because when you actually love somebody in a healthy way, you want what's best for them, and what's best for them is what they've decided is best for them. And so if they've decided that what's best for them is to not be with you, then you wanting to be with them is actually not loving, because that's not what's best for them. That's not what they want. So when we really love somebody for real, in a healthy way, in a way that actually allows them to be free, then that love sets them free. And it doesn't set them free as a trap, as a boomerang, as a mental game, as some type of mind control. It doesn't set them free because you're really planning to go snag them on the other side. It's actually set them free because when you genuinely love someone, you want them to feel free. Unless you're not healthy. And that's the point. Actual true love is freedom and allowing other people to be free. Allowing, accepting that other people have their own free will and their own life to live, and they get to do that. That makes you loving. That makes you a good partner material. That makes you somebody who's desirable. So if you're interested in being more desirable, if you're interested in being happier, if you're interested in maybe considering the possibility that it is time to move on from your ex, and it is time to actually let go, and not let go so they come back to you boomerang, but let go so that you can move on. If you're interested in that, this is something I talk about a lot because it's part of my own journey. So I have firsthand experience, and I also have firsthand experience with the healing process. And I do believe that I have a lot of very wonderful, positive, beneficial insights. And I've put it together in a course. I have several courses. They're really long teaching videos where you can get a tremendous amount of healing. So if you're interested in that, here's a 10-minute excerpt. And if you feel that you would benefit from the full version, please join me on Patreon. I have several different tiers, different membership tiers. You can also purchase a one-time video call with me, or you can purchase monthly calls with me. So, meaning like once a week for a month. So check out my Patreon. The link is in the description. And I hope you enjoy this video. And if you get something out of the 10 minutes and that's enough for you, that's also beautiful. Mwah! See you in the next one. Bye. The same treatment from her now husband, and her children are watching this. And, you know, it's like, at what point do we say, hey, this is not the thing that I want to do anymore? And recognize, like, okay, the answer is not to psychically, you know, telepathically, you're going to change that abusive guy to become a loving guy. How about you work on psychically changing yourself? Why don't you get obsessed with yourself? Stop obsessing about that other person. If you want to have an SP to be obsessed about, become your own SP obsession. Obsessively think things like, I deserve to love myself, and I deserve love that doesn't include getting abused physically, emotionally, mentally, sexually, psychologically, spiritually, religiously, medically, pharmaceutically, herbally. I don't deserve to be sensory abused. I don't deserve to not be allowed to live my own life. I don't deserve to not be allowed to eat the things that make me feel good and healthy. I don't deserve to not be able to be kind and loving to myself and to others. I am allowed to have positive thoughts. I'm allowed to align myself with people who want me there, and that it feels good when I'm around them. And a lot of times that means that you need to stop being friends with Bob and Sally, and you need to make friends with Timmy and Betty. And accept that Timmy and Betty are going to just always be better friends for you, because they love you authentically as you are, and you love them authentically as they are, and you don't have to mind them. And like, who wants that friend who's like, oh, you're not at all how I want you to be, but that's okay, because you're not real to me. I'm going to just literally mind control you. Mind control is not attractive. Yeah. So look at my so I'm going to just pop in this little clip into my little clip about what mind training is. This part is not actually in the long version of this video, which is on Patreon. This is a 10-minute excerpt of an hour-and-a-half training, and I will pop in a description about what mind training is instead of mind control. So Lojong is a Tibetan Buddhist practice that involves using slogans to train our mind, to rid ourselves of negative attitudes, to gain positive attitudes, and to generate compassionate, enlightened compassion, the heart and mind of enlightened compassion. Lord Atisha in the 11th century created these Lojong slogans, and I highly recommend them to anyone interested. Anyone interested in learning how to actually heal yourself in a healthy way and move on from unwanted pain, move on from heartbreak. A lot of people who are heartbroken deal with their heartbreak by trying to manifest that person back, getting that ex back, and filling yourself, your heart, your mind, your body, your spirit, your bed, your thoughts, your future desired outcomes. You pollute it all with clinging, desperation for somebody who's no longer right for you. And Instead of trying to mind control somebody, you can learn to train your own mind so that you can learn to want better and to heal and move on. Look at my pretty lights. So I believe that it's good to bring love into the world. Love that says, when someone's not a good match for you, that's okay. Let them go. Let them go. Not so that they can boomerang back to you. Walk away from them because you deserve better and they deserve better. If you truly, truly love somebody, if I had truly loved that guy that I was obsessed with, if I had really actually loved him and loved myself many years ago, I would have said, he's clearly not right for me. He said no. Therefore, that could never be the one. And I would have forgotten about him. I would have stopped thinking about him. I would have allowed myself to stop thinking about, and I realized I'm not even thinking about him. I'm thinking about a figment of my own imagination. So you think you're obsessively in love with somebody else, but you're actually just obsessively in love with your own fixation, your own imagination. So you are caught in a cycle of self-obsessive. You're self-obsessed, you're self-absorbed, but you are hallucinating that you're obsessed with somebody else, and you are so self-obsessed that you think that you can control the world, but you can't even control the fact that you are obsessed with somebody who doesn't want you. Wait. Let me say that again. You are so obsessed. You are so lacking control. You are so unable to control yourself. You are so out of your own ability to have any power over your own self that you cannot even accept the fact that somebody doesn't want you. You cannot accept that they don't want you. You can't move on. You cannot get yourself to stop thinking about it. You cannot stop wanting something that's not even desirable. You cannot stop looking at that thing on the floor that is in your own imagination, and the world is spinning and moving on and wondering, why is this person stuck looking at the floor? There's nothing there. You're like a cat staring at the wall, seeing a ghost, and the cats can probably really see it, and you're probably like, I see it too, but you're looking at a hallucination in your own mind, and you're telling yourself that you can change that person as well as everybody else, and you can literally not even control yourself to take a look in the mirror and say, girl or boy, wait, what is wrong with you? Are you I could insert a lot of adjectives right here that are disparaging. Do you see how pathetic that is, though? How desperate, clingy, sad. How absolutely not powerful. The antithesis, the absolute opposite, the antithesis, the furthest end of the spectrum, the north-south pole, the dichotomy, the furthest counterpoint that could possibly ever be entertained, the furthest point of the universe that you could ever possibly imagine, and then go find the furthest point from the universe. That's how far apart those two things are. One, the concept that you control everything and everyone, and that you can literally manifest this person who does not want you. You can change them into the person that you want them to be in your dreams. You think that you are so almighty powerful when you could not be more farther from powerful, when you literally can't even get yourself to accept that somebody said no and to move on. 2-year-olds are learning to accept the word no. I mean, beyond, even younger than that, babies, newborns are learning to accept the concept of no. And no, I don't believe that newborns and babies can actually fully grasp it. But, you know, when you're not getting what you want, you understand that no exists in the world. And to come up from babyhood and into some level of being old enough to want a relationship with somebody, and to still be at this grasping of that no is not a concept that you are willing to accept to such a degree that you think you can control the whole world, including the person you want who doesn't want you, is seriously deranged. And in a sad teenager or sad 30-some or sad 40-some person's life, or whatever age, sad, depressed, or just sort of pathetic, or kind of like just heartbroken momentarily person who's just like, I'm going to manifest you for that, you know, maybe it just keeps you sad for an extra 6 months or a year or two, but ultimately there's no harm, no foul, you know. You just were hung up on the person longer than you needed to be, because you didn't realize that if you had just accepted it and moved on and said, wow, if I really love you, I want what's best for you, and what's best for you is for me to move on. What's best for me is for me to move on. The faster you move on, the faster you can heal, and the faster you might get back to being a happier person, or get to the first day of being a happier person. And the longer you cling to the memory of a fantasy, which is what that is at that point, because if they don't want you, then you're clinging to the memory of a fantasy, or you're clinging to a fantasy that never even existed, because maybe the fantasy that you have in your mind of you and them happy never even was real. And you are so far from being a powerful manifesting creator, and it's sad. And the fastest way to turn that around is to realize that the power you have in your life to change your life is within you to change yourself. And the power to change yourself comes from changing your thoughts about what you could want in your life, what you could have in your life. And if you start to believe that you deserve love, that you're lovable, if you start to actually be lovable, how about that? Like, it's not lovable to be obsessed with somebody who doesn't want you. Nobody who is obsessed with somebody who doesn't want them is in a lovable state, because it's cringe. That's clingy cringe. Come on. I mean, it's hurtful to say, but it is. It's like this